cargo essentials package of $250. I did take the cargo mat out. It's the back cargo mat. Now this part of that thing is kind of stupid. You got bags and this thing kind of expands. I guess it's kind of like storage as you're grocery shopping. It kind of hooks into the back seats here when the seats are up. You got this cargo in it. This mat here, that is a part of that. But right now, I already took the cover thing off. So right now, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to remove the seat backs. Now you have to be really careful as you do this, like I just was not right there. So basically just remove the floor mats there, and I'm gonna remove these 4 bolts, just a 14 millimeter. And those things are definitely fastened on there very tight. Takes a lot to get them to budge. The net should come right off with the brackets. Anytime you take anything apart, you want to be very careful not only to not do any damage, but also, because if you're anything like me, you have a terrible time putting things back together correctly after you take something apart. And go ahead and take these off too, over here. I've already got them budged. And go ahead and take those off. Yeah, this one's a little more particular. Yep, there goes the net, just like that. Net's out. What they said was, oh yeah. So right after you release that, they said you gotta be real careful because this is gonna pull apart right here. There's a little piece, you can see. That's gonna just pull right apart. But you gotta watch this bracket as you pull it apart. You wanna be very careful doing it so that this doesn't scratch up all the interior here. So you gotta maneuver it a little bit, watch the bracket, and just kind of maneuver it back and forth a little bit. It'll work its way right out. A little piece of plastic that was somehow in there. But yep, that's what you got. So once I pull this piece out, I'll take these pieces out and get the bracket off. It's like with the seat belt. You just have the snap in here and you can leave the seat belt on. So to get the big seat out, we'll need to undo those bolts and get the bracket out. Bolts loosened up. What I'm noticing here is that these also kind of hold in the seat belt buckles for the back seat. Now, see the little scratches? And the little scratches down there. As just kind of a slight maneuver through that thing up. And so yeah, those brackets will scratch things up a bit. So it looks like this piece might hook into something here. Yeah, hard to tell. But with this seat now can easily, the big seat can now easily be removed. No, it cannot. There's one more thing. So the final piece of the puzzle to removing the big seat is the middle seat belts. I may have to remove those bolts too to get this seat belt out. Yeah, it looks like there's another bracket there. I'll probably have to remove that just for the seat belt alone. So yes, the one bolt that's deep under the seat there, got that out, and now the entire 60% seat back is free to come out. So that bracket and bolt will come with the entire seat along with the seat belt. That's for the middle seat of the back seat. So with this, you now have a couple options. You could just refasten the bolts. Considering how easy that would be to put those back in there, if you ever need them, I might as well remove them. It does leave a hole right here. Now, if you are wondering what is under the seat, well, the fuel pump. Now, this seat actually removes quite easily. I am not planning to do that right now. I like the idea of leaving this in here instead of having a rock hard surface. Okay, so we put that back in. Let's get the floor mat that I paid $250 for. That was a $250 extra charge on the car to have. Let's get that back in. Okay, so this is kind of your finished product when you take the seat backs out. When you laid the seat backs, it was a pretty sharp angle. Whatever you're looking to carry in the back seat, this was kind of at a sharp angle. Now it's not so sharp of an angle. It is still angled downward, and then there's a little bit of a drop off there. So if you did want a completely flat back, it looks like you would need to take the seat off too. Currently, I think this is good enough. I think this will work. I am kind of wondering about this little thing here. I don't know if that would affect anything that I plan on carrying. If that works, I mean, that's a possibility to remove that too. It's just the one bolt and bracket. In fact, if I wanted a flat surface, I could probably put something else back here to kind of raise this part up an inch or two. So yes, this is definitely doable. Not quite as versatile as the Honda Fit, but there's a lot you can do with this. I like it. For a tiny car, under 2,100 pounds, this is pretty cool. If you like the idea of this top cover giving you some privacy for things that you're stowing under here, you will not want to remove the seat backs. Love the amount of space that frees up in the back. That is so cool. Yeah, when you look at all this space that you got back here, if you fill that gap with something that actually is then even kind of with the seat, lean the passenger seat forward, you got enough room for a bed. Unless you're fairly tall, if you're above average height for a man, which I am not. I will put those seat backs in my house, and we'll see if I ever need to install them again. Probably not. I think this will work great. And you see here, this is my new cooler. My old cooler was too big for the amount of space in here. Now in the Honda Fit, the big cooler worked just fine because in the Honda Fit, you can pull these seats up and it opens up a lot of space down here. The cooler sits down there just fine. It does not sit in this spot at all. Even if I push this all the way up, which I think that's almost all the way up, it still isn't gonna really fit back here. And the only other option would be to like set it down around here, which then if you have to make a sudden stop or whatever, it's gonna maybe tip over, so you gotta brace it. I just figured it'd be easier, and it's actually better for a lot of other reasons to just get another cooler, something that fits perfectly down here. I did all the measurements, and I had a couple of options. I have this one that I bought, and then the other one was collapsible. This was $45 plus tax. The collapsible one, I think, was $38 plus tax, but I didn't want the collapsible. I wanted one like this, and the reason why is because it lays perfectly flush with the seat. And the reason why I really like this is because I do have a couple of times that I'm planning on camping, and probably more that'll be coming. And the thing that I really like about this is that if I don't want to set up my tent outside and I just want to sleep quickly and easily without having to do a full tent setup, then I will have couch cushions laid out here. I'll be able to sleep here. If I push the seat all the way forward and then click it to lean forward. That's going to open up a lot of space back here. Now, I will say that if you are over 6 foot tall, that's probably not going to be enough space for you unless you tend to sleep on your side and really curl your legs up. I tend to curl my legs and sleeping on my side quite a bit, so this is actually plenty of room. I don't even think I would need to lean that forward and I would have enough room. And that's why I wanted this, because otherwise your legs would be, or my legs would be, like tipping over, and that would not be a comfortable way to sleep. So the couch cushions can sit on top of the cooler. Now for the very foot of the bed, it might lean forward just a little bit at the very edge, but I'm not sure I'll be bothered by that. But I may put a Squishmallow down there or something down there to try to kind of line it up better with this. And one other thing I mentioned with the Mitsubishi Mirage base model is that you do not get any kind of center console or armrest. It is optional. The center console thing is optional. Now, I do not believe that the armrest is, but the center console thing, I think, was around $200 that it would add to your price. So what I did instead is I purchased from Amazon, I bought an aftermarket center console. So this is how it came in the mail. In 2 pieces. This is made in China, shipped from China for about $52 plus tax, and it arrived in less than 2 weeks. So there may be nothing for it to screw into, really, but it does have these pads on here, and it fits right into the cup holder, this part. And you kind of give it a good push. And yes, there is some movement there. I'm hoping that that won't be too big of a deal, but we'll see. I have not put it all together yet, not within the car. The slider part right there, that's what that slides into. Let's try to get it lined up perfectly. Let's see, yep, that's perfect. So yeah, there is some wiggle there. And if you're worried that, oh no, now I no longer have a cup holder there, well, there you go. They got you covered. And so you got 2 compartments here. The first one folds up. That's where you can put a phone. And then there. You got a little bit of space down there, enough to put sunglasses, a few different things. And yes, this thing does slide forward and back. Like I said, I just slid it right on there. No tools needed to attach it. So my verdict about the armrest, yeah, I guess it'll work to just rest your arm. But if you wanted to rest your elbow while driving, which is what the armrest, the actual armrest on my Honda Fit allows me to do, that's going to be a little bit tougher. It sits a little too low to really be able to do that. So I'm not at all bothered by the wobble. I'm just not happy with the height. I think it needed to be a little taller. The other thing that I wanted to mention when I was driving on a sunny day is that, yes, the visor does block the sun really well for you in the front seats, but you'll see that you have this cut out here, and that's because they want you to be able to see out the rear view mirror. They don't want it blocking your rear view mirror. Again, safety, because we are too stupid to be able to do things on our own and to be able to adjust this at a point to where we can still see out the rear view mirror on our own, because they don't think we can do anything on our own. But again, the stupid so-called safety made things less safe for us. Because here, back it up a little bit, when you're driving down the road and the sun is out there, and the sun, when you're driving in certain directions, the sun is usually right here. You're gonna have to lean way forward, which is very uncomfortable, or you just put up with the sun shining right into the side of your eyes. This is totally worthless, which is why I bought an extender. When it's connected, the side panel will pull out to the side and give you that extra blocking of the sun that you need. And as far as this one goes, that's going to be the same deal. That's why I bought 2 visor extenders, because I wanted to put one over here too to block the sun when it's right there, which it's going to be there a lot. So picking up where I left off before, this center console armrest, it also, this top piece actually slides forward. So there's your spot to put a phone or anything small, larger items like sunglasses down in there. And yes, that piece slides forward, but when I put my elbow there, there's just no way. That is not a comfortable resting position. So As an armrest, it doesn't really work all that great. It is better than not having anything here. But one thing that I tried, I went in and got this little plush pillow from my house that I haven't really been using at all. Just put it right there. It fits in just perfectly. And now I got a perfect armrest. So that'll work out great. But like I said, for the visor, I do not think that that causes much of any obstruction to your rear view mirror, to your vision. So I think that's kind of stupid. But, you know, this is the way they made them, so this is my solution. I bought a couple of visor extenders. Now, finding one that is going to fit right for you is very, very difficult. I bought 2 different ones, hoping that one would work. So the real problem with the visors is when it's on the side like this. I mean, look at this. You have all this space here. And I was driving the other day, I was driving home from the eclipse, and the sun was right here for almost the entire drive home because I was driving west, and the sun was right there, and I couldn't avoid it. It was, you can't get this visor in a position to block the sun, so it's in the peripheral of my vision the entire drive, or almost the entire drive. But with this extender, just pull that out. Whoops. Pull that out, sun is blocked. Perfect. I love it. When you do push the extender back in, it does kind of move it a little bit. You might need to adjust it somewhat. It's not that big a deal. It's worth it to have the extender, I think. So this one is $19 plus tax when I bought it. It's actually meant to go on the other side, but that would block the vanity mirror. So I just went ahead and put it on the wrong side. No big deal. Except that it also has this, which is meant to give you a little extra shade down here. But while it's in front, I don't think I need the lower one because what you're seeing right now is my vision if I am sitting up straight. So yeah, I don't think I need that. So I put the black one on the passenger side. Now this one was $16 plus tax, a few dollars cheaper. And it's actually meant to go on the other side to leave your vanity mirror open. Now this one is a little trickier though. Well, the thing just fell off while I was trying to show you, but you see that there are 3 spots where you can put this one. So it actually was originally right here, and I moved it over one to be a better fit for the visor. So this one has a lot more versatility than the one that was a little more expensive. But let me put it back up. So yes, this one has more versatility, but it also is way more fidgety. It moves around a lot more. It is not as tight of a fit. So the reason why I want it on the passenger side is that this is where I could see it actually being beneficial to have the extra one, and actually this pulls out too. So this provides you with a lot of extra blocking of the sun if need be. But as I said, it is not as tight, so trying to push the things back, I might end up knocking it off. And if I'm gonna have a problem with one of them, I'd rather have a problem with it on the passenger side. And also the way it just hangs low because it is so loose, I can't seem to get it right, but I'll mess with it more. I'll probably get it to work better. But for now, I say that this one seems to be a little easier to use. Overall, I am happy with my visor extenders, and I am extremely happy with my cooler. This was really good, even though, like I said, I wish it were a couple inches higher, but still, as opposed to having nothing here, this is a great improvement. So I'm really happy I made that purchase. It was the most expensive one. It was, with tax, would be about $56. So it's no big deal. Definitely better than the $200, $250 that they would charge you if you got it directly through the manufacturer. I got an armrest, I got visors that'll actually block the sun with the extenders, I got a cooler that fits perfectly, I have no seat back, so I got a lot of cargo room, can turn this into a little camper. So this little car is gonna be very versatile for me, and it's gonna fit my style, the way that I do road trips, just beautifully. And you might have noticed, I don't know if you were paying attention to things whenever I've been filming, but yes, I do keep my tire inflator with me at all times, at least if I'm leaving town. If I'm driving another car, that tire inflator will go to the other car. I will always have that with me. It has come in so handy, especially the last couple years.